Defence and Military Veterans Minister Angie Motshekga says SANDF will continue to work hard to ensure that its weapons are intact. Motshekga visited the SANDF at the Rand Easter Show in Johannesburg. Now, this comes as the Army is involved in a number of peacekeeping missions, including the Eastern DRC. SABC News Reporter Khayelihle Khumalo spoke to the minister on the sidelines of the exhibition.
It's a very important day here in Nasrec, in the south of Johannesburg. We've seen the SANDF displaying its capabilities. We know of a very prominent role that they play when it comes to peacekeeping mission in the African continent and beyond. And of course, a very important time for the SANDF. But joining us now is Minister Motshekga to talk about the significance of the day, Minister. We know that it's quite important to show your capabilities, to modernize as well. But tell us about the significance of such engagements, especially at such critical times.
You know, for me to really make sure that South Africans have an opportunity of either interacting with their defense force or just even seeing the capabilities. For me, it's very important just for our children, for the nation, to know that they have a big brother out there who's looking out to protect them from the land, the sea, and other ways, and just being able to interact. So the Rand show is your family area or your family show, and for me it is important at such length to expose the public to the defense force, because I always say to people, it's like a sacred space to be. Police and soldiers are the only people who take an oath and put their lives on the line to say, I take an oath to really protect and put your life at stake for the sake of other people. And for me, it's a very important thing for South Africans to appreciate, to say we have these people who dedicate their lives for our safety.
Minister, obviously we know that you started this year on a very somber note. We saw those developments in the eastern part of the DRC, and subsequent to that, we've seen the successive meetings. We saw the joint summit with EAC, the SADC leaders, all of them really focused on finding a long-lasting peace in the DRC. A lot has happened in terms of the meeting so far. Do you want to share with the nation how far are we in terms of making sure that the troops do return to South Africa after the SADC leaders decided to withdraw semi-DRC from the eastern parts of Congo?
Sometimes I feel so sad that we've come to such an important step in the safety or in the DRC matter at the expense of our children, with the 4 dying, because we are at a very important stage with peacekeeping in the DRC, where both sides have agreed for the first time to talk. And unfortunately, it would have taken such a high toll on our kids. For a long time, the DRC government was unwilling to speak to M23. And we've said all the time as ANC, as a South African government, that the resolution to this conflict, it's negotiations and engagements, and they were just unable to engage with each other. And we're at a stage where now they're sitting around the table, but it's such huge expense that we've finally reached that point. In terms of repatriation, yes, the ceasefire. Now we're working on logistics on how to bring them home safely. Even every time I meet with the generals to update, to say how far are we, our containers, the flights that have to bring them back. So the plan is underway. Anytime we'll announce the real date, but we had to fix the Goma airport, whether we use the road, we go through Uganda or Rwanda, but there is agreement that they're going to come back home. So we're working on logistics of bringing them back home.
Minister, before we let you go, these are very tough times financially for South Africa, the world, the geopolitics, a lot is happening. How's SANDF doing in terms of making sure that you're meeting your targets, so to speak?
And I know that sometimes generals in the defense force get impatient with me. When I was in education, I served on what we call the Ministers' Committee on the Budget, which takes decisions with the Minister of Finance and how money is allocated. And with that knowledge, I know that there's no money. So that sometimes when you're in other departments, you get angry to say, what money, we're being underfunded. And I keep on saying, I've had this unfortunate situation of serving in the MINCOM part. And coming to defense and just see the defunding of what those decisions would have been, right as they were, that some monies went to fees must fall. And simply because it's a country for a long time, we already have been at peace. So we just had to maintain our defense, but unfortunately in maintaining it and defunding and taking money to other areas, it has already had crippling effects. But now what it has brought to bear, which is again helpful, is that Cabinet is accepted, that the defunding of the Defence Force has really landed it into real serious problems. There's a need to, as a first step, because there's no money, to close the gaps that are there. I mean, we're overspending on human resources. They've given us money for that.